よければチャンネル登録もよろしくでごわす。
Take your place in the nether realm.
I would rather raise Onaga.
That would be most unwise.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jamie James, King of Games, and today I want to talk about Shang Tsung and Liu Kang's ending and why I want Shang Tsung's ending to be canon. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, hey, there's no way Shang Tsung's ending could be canon. Liu Kang's ending is better. It has more detail. It goes all the way back to the great Kung Lao. But me being me, always seeing things different than everybody else, I think that this would probably be the best thing Mortal Kombat has ever done. And let me tell you why. While Liu Kang's ending does seem to have a little more effort, when you look at the real subtlety and what MK lore stands for, if Liu Kang's ending is canon, Mortal Kombat is pretty much over, right? Because the whole point of the Mortal Kombat tournament that we've come to know and love is because the great Kung Lao, who was the champion, was killed by Goro. But if he gets retrained by Liu Kang and beats Goro, then all the stuff that we've come to know and love, such as Kitana falling in love with Liu Kang and Jade meeting Kodo and all these other things and all these characters coming together, they never meet, and the Cyber Lin Kuei and all these other stuff, it doesn't happen. It can't happen. The mergings of, or trying to merge in certain stuff, or the Outworld versus Earthrealm war never happens because the great Kung Lao would never lose. So really, there would be no, I mean, there'd probably be future tournaments, but if he never lost, then all the things that we know would not happen. So it would almost be kind of like a reboot. And what we don't need is another reboot, because MK9 was a reboot and this timeline stuff is kind of like rebooting over and over again. So we don't really need that. So it's kind of like the perfect ending. It's tying everything up with a nice little bow. However, if Shang Tsung wins, then the whole universe will be completely on its head and it can go into territory that we never knew before. Well, somebody may say, well, why is that? Well, here's the thing. For those of you who don't know, that there is a thing known as the One Being. Now, the One Being was this big, I won't say baddie, but it was this big godlike creature at the beginning of time, where it was the One Being and the Elder Gods, and I guess now presumably the Titans. And the One Being was feasting on the Elder Gods. So what they did is they broke him up into many different places with the Kamidogu, or which are now considered daggers instead of like these kind of relics, I guess. And that ended up becoming the realms. Now in Shang Tsung's ending, Shang Tsung actually becomes this huge king, godlike creature, or actually more of an elder god himself, or the keeper of time, whatever you want to call it. But what he's doing is merging all these realms together. So keep in mind that the reason the One Being does not exist is because he had to be separated. He couldn't even be killed. He had to be separated into numerous realms. So if Shang Tsung merges all these realms together, then that could bring the One Being back, right? And we also have this one little intricacy. Chronica already said that she motivated Shang Tsung to collect souls and do all these things based on who she was and for him to do her bidding, right? And we already also seen that Onaga had the power to appeal to Shijinko, you know. And so who's to say that certain realms don't push certain people to do certain things because of being susceptible to it? So that could be the great One Being probably getting to Shang Tsung saying, merge all the realms, do all these things to bring me back, right? However, Shang Tsung is slick, so he could probably know this, and he probably feels like the only person who could truly stand up against the One Being is Onaga, because he also speaks about raising Onaga for some random reason. Now, why would you want to raise one of the most powerful beings who used to rule Outworld, who was unmatched and had the only was poisoned secretly by Shao Kahn? Shao Kahn pulled the pump move and had to poison this guy. This is how beast he was. So why would you do that, Shang Tsung, if you secretly wanted to rule, right? There's some things that really don't make sense, but make perfect sense if you really look at it in plain sight, right? So if Shang Tsung actually decides to merge all these realms, the one being will come back. And that is incredible. So then that will put everything on its head, because then it would literally be a fight for the world. Like, no matter who you were, whether you were Devora, Melina, Kitana, you would have no choice but to band together, because right now it would be sink or swim, because if the Great One Being comes back, it's over with, right? So it would be crazy seeing all these people have to work together, because now all of their lives are at stake, because the One Being is probably not going to show any mercy, right? And even if he doesn't, you still see in Shang Tsung's ending that all the realms are almost already combined. So even still, the two realms that are left, right, would still have to work together, and the people that are under Shang Tsung's control would still have to band together. This is like some Avengers Endgame type stuff, man. Like, otherwise they about to get like Thanos snapped out of existence by the Great One Being or by Onaga. Either way, Shang Tsung ending being canon, it is huge for the Mortal Kombat community and for the Mortal Kombat lore. And I think a lot of people miss that. Right? So I actually think that this could be the best thing that could ever happen to Mortal Kombat in recent history. Just the idea of like Melina working with Devora, working with Jade, working with all these people. And then we don't even know who some of these other Titans are, and who knows where they fit. They may want to bring people back to get involved. And they may fear the One Being as well. We know the Elder Gods did. So who knows, right? This could be kind of like everybody against Thanos, right? And I think that would be incredible. Like, I think that I can't even, like, I'm shaking just thinking about the possibilities of that, because I'm just that pumped about it. So that's why I want Shang Tsung's ending to be canon. And as much as I love Liu Kang's ending, and I think it's great, and I think it stands for so much, I just don't want it to be canon. I just don't feel like it needs to be, because it just basically goes right back to the very, very beginning. And I'm just kind of sick of all the times of reboots. I feel like a reboot sometimes is good, but I feel like a lot of times the reboot is just kind of like a cop-out. It's kind of like, we know what works, we've seen what works, and we tried to do something different and it didn't work, so let's go back to what everybody knows and loves. But after about 20-something years of seeing the same story, I want something different, and I want something more expansive. Like, I want to see things that are crazy different, but still with the characters that we know and love, seeing how they grow and progress over time, right? That's why I love seeing characters like Johnny and Sonya have kids, and those kids become part of, the Mortal Kombat history and lore, right? So that's just me, but tell me, what do you think? You know what I mean? Do you think that the Mortal Kombat history should be expanded even more? Would you like to see Onaga return? Would you like to see the One Being return? I personally would. I would love to see what the One Being was like, and how he would be in action, all those things. I think that would be one of the best things ever. I really do. But anyway, tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, and help me grow my YouTube channel. And always remember, keep on gaming. Peace.
Stream is over. Stream is over!